in the UK. How are you?
Hi, fine. I'm enjoying your program.
Thanks.
I have a point. Follows slightly on from your remarks to the last caller. Religious television. I watch them occasionally to get the blood pressure up when it's feeling down. And how do we know, just as a matter of interest, this is just an intellectual argument, is who are the con artists, the ones who are out to steal your money, who are the delusional, and who are the plain mad? Now, they seem to go to those three. I know people like Popoff are obviously complete and utter con artists. We know that. I mean, you've only got to watch them. And the other ones with their share-a-thon, where they all want money. But then there are the other idiots who, I often wonder whether they're ignorant, stupid, or, I mean, like the Banana Man, Comfort. What's wrong with them?
Well, I think part of some of the people that fall into that last category are, in fact, people who actually believe this stuff, right?
Yeah, they do the crap. They actually believe it. And it's incredible that you could show them tree rings that go back, say, 7,000 to 8,000 years, but the world's only 6,000 years.
But Kevin?
And no matter what you say, there is nothing you can do. Now, is it the educational system? Is it the home? I don't know.
Well, you know, the ones who are clearly con artists, their con wouldn't work if they weren't able to convince other people to believe this stuff. And and when those people should get TV shows, then it's just people who believe these wacky things that have their own TV shows. That's all I was trying to say.
And also to respond to something you said when you said there's nothing you can do about it, I don't buy that.
Well,
that is a very...
I agree. I have complained in the UK, and the people who are in charge of the broadcasting, because it's run by a certain gentleman who's in the news over here, Rupert Murdoch, because they pay to go on his Sky channels. So there's money hang up there, so you won't get anywhere there. They then claim all sorts of benefits they're providing for people, which are extremely dubious at the best, and at the worst, they're outright con artists. These people should be in jail, not on television.
There are a number of them that should, but when I was talking about this idea that you can't do anything about it, I'm not talking about getting them off TV or anything like that, although I would be in favor, certainly, of going after any con artists that, we can actually prove that they're intentionally duping people and robbing them. I'm talking about the thing that you can do is to change minds. You educate people and you minimize the pool that they can take advantage of. And by the way, many of these ministers, they are also victims. They, some of the most crazy religious people who I would love to actually hate them. I have difficulty hating them because they are, they're wrong. They are doing harm. They need to be stopped or corrected as best we can. But I have difficulty hating them because they believe something sincerely, and they're not. You don't get to choose what you believe. I was a fundamentalist Christian for more than 25 years, and I'm sure I said and did many things that I would now find despicable. But I wish I could, come up with the one argument that convinces everybody to give up, their crazy beliefs and embrace rationality, but I can't. But the fact that there isn't one argument for everybody doesn't mean that there isn't an argument for everybody, that there isn't some path for every single individual to find their way free from the trappings of religion. So
it is sad because I say occasionally I flick through the channels and you get these preachers and they're promising things because they can never be disproved, because you can't prove that God isn't going to kill you if he doesn't collect $1 million or whatever in the next fortnight. But it just seems sad, and that some of the politicians they creep up to these people.
Of course, because they have people who will vote lockstep with them.
Yeah, I mean, here in the UK, apparently, I think they're trying to start some schools up, and some of them are going to be that they're allowing them to do certain things where they can creep in with creationism, which is pretty much was a dead duck here, but they're coming back via people from your part of the world and from Australia and these people. I just
sorry
don't
about
know.
that.
it just pees me off that these people can spout their nonsense, and there's not nothing we can do, but it just seems, it gets me. I'm thinking, sometimes I listen to your program and I wonder, some of the people who come up, I'm thinking there should be a Turing test whether you can tell whether they're trying to wind you up or whether they are genuinely loonies.
Yeah, there's not. Trying to spot the pose is a fun game. But Kevin, thanks so much for the call.
I wondered that sometimes. I'm not sure, but I think there's generally a tone in the voice, and you know straight away that they actually believe the crap. That they're trying to convert you and convert us, but God help us. Anyway, it's nice speaking to you. I watch your program regularly. I won't waste any more of your time, and thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, by and large, I tend to just take people at their word. If you tell me you believe something, until I have a reason to suspect that you don't, right, I'm just going to
And some of the fake calls that we have had have actually led to interesting conversations, yes, until they can't take it anymore and have to say something about body parts or something on the show.
One of the fake calls even led to me being married.
Now, I've always thought. Remember, you used to be able to turn on the TV and see like the psychic readers or the people want to read your tarot cards or something, and there was always the "for entertainment purposes only" line across the bottom. And I thought that is the solution for religious programming.
I'm with you.
But for entertainment purposes only, suddenly I don't have a problem with it. They want to put on that show and talk about the invisible man and what he wants and all that, and everybody can just sit there with their popcorn and maybe throw money at them if they're amused. That would be fine.
I still have a problem with it.
Do you?
I have a problem with the psychics, even if it says for entertainment purposes only, because that's a disingenuous cheat. The people that they're having call them and the people that they're getting money from, most of them aren't just doing it for entertainment. They've bought into this. And that's a line that gets them out of the scope of the bunco.
But it's a constant reminder. And I appreciate it on that level.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a constant? If you believe something,
you turn on this show where they're going to read your tarot cards, and the video has "for entertainment purposes only" up on the screen all the time, or every time they ask for money. It's a constant reminder that this thing you are looking at is in a special category of stuff that we're not going to allow you to say it's actually true.
Oh, you're thinking too much like a rational person.
All right. Well,
if you actually believe it...
Is it better than not saying that at all?
No.
Really?
I think I can make an argument for why it's worse.
Do we want to talk about that, or do we want to take calls?
I'll do it real briefly.
Okay.
And you can either agree or disagree, because those are options.
Okay.
So I'm a sincere believer. I'm not. Let's say I'm a sincere believer in
TV.
Psychic phenomenon and talking to the dead.
Yeah.
And I am desperate to, contact my lost loved ones, etc. When I see the "for entertainment purposes only" across the bottom of the screen, I realize, if I even pay any attention to it, I realize that this is something that they're being forced to put on there by the government, and it is perhaps intentional suppression of a worldview that people out there just don't want to grasp. They are terrified of the possibility that there may be spirits out there to talk to. This is the man holding communication with the undead down.
Okay. That is certainly an attitude that people could possibly hold.
Yeah, and it ends up, in some cases, it ends up reinforcing. You see, we already know that once somebody has professed vocally a belief, that they're less likely to change it. And in many cases, once that's happened, even when you present them with the absolute confirmation that their belief is false, that only serves to strengthen their belief.
So what do we do? Do we then disallow them from expressing their belief, in hopes that they will therefore not get locked in, or do we say nothing, or do we attempt to protect the public to the extent that we can within the bounds of free speech and freedom to do business, and then accept it and move on?
Yeah, we attempt to inoculate the third one. We attempt to inoculate everybody with reason and evidence so that this older generation that bought into this nonsense dies off and the thing fades out. And that goes for religion and psychics and homeopathy and,
Yeah, I was including the little disclaimer in that third thing as part of it.
I'm not saying that it's necessarily always a bad thing. I'm just pointing out a case where it could back.
Sure.
But anyway.